Hi friends! Today I am giving an update on my Gothic curriculum. So I wanted to tell you what I've read so far and kind of the gist of, what seems to be, at least from my point of view, what is making the Gothic experience. So I have been reading and watching TV because a lot of what I'm watching is reading material, like they're based off of books, but I just don't have, I feel like I really want to immerse myself into this Gothic curriculum, and I think watching TV helps visually because though I do see pictures in my mind, I don't see it extremely clearly. I kind of see it's a little fuzzy. And sometimes I have been practicing, and that is might be a curriculum later where I'm like trying to evolve my brain into getting more vivid imagery. I have to figure out how to do that and what books would help, maybe highly descriptive ones. Because I will say, when I'm writing my own books, I will say it's easier for me. And I think that's because I Pinterest things and I'm able to visualize, okay, I know that that person looks like that. But even then, I still, like, even in my regular day life, like, when I imagine other people in my head, they're still fuzzy, like, even if I know you in real life. So I'm really trying to practice, and I know that practicing will take lots of effort, but I'd want to get there. I want to visualize like pretty clearly in my head. Like I think that would be a very amazing experience. So like I said, I have been watching some TV to get myself more immersed into the experience. I I'm going to go over the books first, and then I'll go over um, the TV shows because they are TV shows that I've been watching. So the one that I've already discussed many times on my page, A Study in Drowning, that is one of my top favorites. I didn't know it was Gothic. I think it's more closer to dark academia, but I think it is also Gothic. Another one that's more of like a moderny Gothic, but it was still considered Gothic, at least according to the search engine, because I do search engine these, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, please let me know in the comments. I am trying to get a good image of what Gothic is to what it seems like to me. But the book is The Housemaid, and that one I did discuss before, I'm pretty sure, as a review. Sorry, my cat's in the way. But that one was more of a modern. I didn't really have like the darkness I feel like that the other stuff does. It was more in the daylight, if that makes sense. Like it was more in the daylight, but still spooky. But I will say it did have spooky aspect when it came to her little room that she was stuck in. Another book I read but did not finish is We Used to Live Here. I don't know why, but this book to me, I know it's a very, very popular book, but this book to me was not it. And I will say it definitely had Gothic vibes. It was a Victorian house. It was spooky, haunted. I don't know for sure if it was actually haunted. I kind of feel like, I'm pretty sure the character, in my own brain while reading it, she just seemed it just seemed like she was an untrusted narrator. I'm not sure because I didn't finish. Like, parts of me wanted to finish. I think the big part that wanted me to finish is mostly just due to I don't like to start something and not finish it. But I was 40% in, and I'm reading it on my Libby app, and it just didn't feel like anything was happening. Like it just felt like really didn't feel like anything was happening. Like these people come and visit her, right? And they say, "Oh, we used to live here. We want to," which is how they got its title. "We want to see the place. We want to see what it was like." And I don't know, ever since they visited, like little tiny spooky things happen here and there. But nothing to me really grabs my attention. It was just kind of like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I feel like life's too short to not read something you want to read. And I do have some questions. I can maybe Spark Note it. I think I did try to Spark Note it, and it just wasn't working out. Spark Notes wasn't giving me anything. Now let's go over the TV shows I watched. So I think I did talk about this one in my last curriculum update, but this one is Sabrina. Specifically, I think it's called The Life of Sabrina, or it's not the teenage. It's not the not spooky one. It's obviously the spooky one on Netflix. I don't know. I can't remember the exact title, but I just call it Sabrina. It had a lot of dark magical themes. It seemed to typically be more in the nighttime, which I think it seems like Gothic seems to be more in the night, which is why the haunted housemaid didn't really feel super Gothic-y. It was more like I don't know. It was claimed to be a modern Gothic, which is the reason I read it and put it in. But it just seemed like that one was like daylight, where like most Gothic is supposed to be like nighttime and dark. It doesn't even have to necessarily actually be nighttime. It's just like the feeling of darkness and night. I don't really know how to pinpoint what I mean. But anyway, so the next two that I have watched are actually books that got turned, well, I know one of them was for sure a book that got turned into a TV show. The other one I believe is the same because I'm pretty sure they're related. I'm pretty sure it was the same author who wrote it. I'll have to look that up. But it was Haunted Hill House. That one definitely fit a Gothic theme. It was in a big, huge, dark mansion, lots of ghosts, lots of feelings, similar feelings that they always tend to have, apparently. They feel. Same with Bly Manor, I haven't finished yet. I did finish it at one point a long time ago when it first came out. I actually cannot remember it too much at the end, but I know there was something going on with, I think, with the brother or the younger boy. So she's a teacher, and it's showing like a lot of their past right now. I should be done with that pretty soon. It was only like 9 episodes, so they're all an hour long. So as a general thing, I think all of these have in common, minus the housemaid. They all are dark. They seem to have usually a big house. I will say the housemaid does have a big house. It does have a spooky part of she stays in the attic, so she has like spooky feelings up there, but it's not like ghosty spooky. It's like, why is the door locked from the outside? Why can't I be locked in? Why do the windows not open? Why is there scratches on the door on the bottom, right? But they all have feelings of powerlessness somehow, some way. Usually, I think that the feeling can actually come from the Gothic aspect so far, what I'm reading. A lot of Gothic has mostly ghosts, but Sabrina obviously was a Gothic and it doesn't have ghosts. It was more of a magical, what this could happen kind of thing. One thing I will say about Sabrina versus everyone else is there was feelings of powerlessness with Sabrina, but that girl, she was tough. I really believe Sabrina was tough. She didn't let anything stop her. If she had her mindset, she was gonna do it. And a lot of these books, I feel like the women tend to let these powerlessness feelings get to them. Not even the women, the men too. Because, for example, on Haunted Hill House, that one you see the point of view of everyone. And I will say everybody in there, except for maybe the dad, let the feelings of powerlessness take them over. And the reason I don't feel like the dad did is because he didn't, even though he was spooked, he didn't let that stop him. And you guys might say maybe Steven, I think that's what his name was. Maybe he was the same way, but I disagree because he was hiding behind this, oh, ghosts aren't real, even though I saw ghosts my entire life. And he even admitted, like, oh, I saw things, but it was just my brain making some shit up because my mom died. So, in my opinion, that was powerlessness taking over, and he allowed it. So, in most of these Gothic stories I've been reading, the powerlessness feeling is strong, and they let this take it over. Sabrina, I think, is the only one, because even in the Study in Drowning, she allowed her powerlessness to really take her down. And of course, in all of these, they do, like the housemaid, I would say she's maybe more in the middle. I still think she let that powerlessness take her over. But she did have a very strong head similarly to Sabrina. Because when she got locked up, Keith, don't listen if you're listening because I will be giving a spoiler. When she got locked up, when she finally got out, she put him in there and she did way worse than what he did, and he ended up dying. So she did have a strong head on her compared to a lot of these people who feel powerlessness in this Gothic era. We used to live here. I think one reason I didn't like this book was how the powerlessness took her. She was extremely an anxious person, and she just let her anxiety control everything. Like, she would not make any decisions without her wife, and I just thought that was weird. And yes, We Used to Live Here was a sapphic novel. I think if I had the point of view of Charlie, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, because Charlie had a headstrong, she didn't let things stop her, kind of like Sabrina. Like, you can have sense of powerlessness and still not, like, in a book, and still, like, not let it take you over. And I feel like it's weird how I remember Charlie, but I can't remember the main character's name. I don't know. She just really, she never even spoke up for herself. Like, she didn't even want these people to come in her house in the first place, and she was just like, okay, you can come in. Like, she just was very weak-minded about things, and I think that made me really like annoyed. And maybe I feel that way because in the past I was like that when I growing up. Like, I could oftenly be weak-minded, and so maybe it hit like a spot for me. Like, don't let these people walk on you. And I can't read this because maybe it low-key is taking me. Maybe I should read, but I don't know. But it wasn't even just that. It was also just there was nothing spooky to me. It was just her feeling like something spooky might happen, or I stopped at where she saw something in the basement, and then her wife just ended up leaving without telling her, which was very strange, I'm not gonna lie. But then something happened to her phone. The people who moved in, oh, we're going on celibacy or whatever for phones. Well, we can't use our phones right now, if that's the right word. And so these weird people didn't have phones. So she goes around the neighborhood, and apparently it's a huge neighborhood, so you have to walk far just to see your next neighbor. And then she meets this neighbor who also has some like haunted weird things going on. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's just the narrator. I feel like she's very untrustworthy, and I think something's going on. I'm gonna spark note it, I'll tell you that, because I am very curious how it ended. I just didn't care enough to read it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I have so far. I haven't finished Bly Manor. Let's discuss. I do have quite a few left. It's already kind of, a little bit into October, so I'm trying to get these books done. I'm going to try to read Belladonna, One Dark Window, A Theory of Dreaming, Slewfoot, if I can find it, The September House, which I'm starting to read, What Moves the Dead, if I can find that one, Mexican Gothic, if I get it in time, Juniper and Thorn, Starling House, and I believe that's it. I don't have any more TV shows after Bly Manor, so I will keep you guys updated. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.